Barn. I'm the CEO of Steam Exchange. I'd like to personally thank you for being here and welcome you guys to our bi weekly AMA. This one is a major one, and you'll get to hear shortly why. Without further ado, I'm going to pass this on to Chris.
Perfect. Thanks, Terry. Good day, everyone. I know we have a lot of new members with us today. So as always, good day to the entire Steam team. Whether you've been here since day one or just recently joined us, we welcome you all and we truly appreciate you guys being a part of the family. For those who don't know, my name is Chris Beckford. I am one of the co-founders, vice president, and head of infrastructure here at Steam Exchange. Over the last 7 months, it's been truly phenomenal. This entire team has been, heads down, hard at work, navigating us all through our stages, both through the exits of stage 1 and stage 2, and now into stage 3. So later on, I'll definitely go into a little bit more detail in terms of what these stages entailed. As always, we have a jam-packed agenda, so definitely stay tuned. I'll just pass it over to Neville for a quick update, and then we can go into our agenda items there for today. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Chris. Welcome everybody to the AMA, especially the new members that are joining our family. We've had some, enormous growth in the last 48 hours. So for sure, welcome. You joined just in time. Here we are at our AMA. So my name is Neville DeVecchia. I'm one of the co-founders, the president, and the head of operations for Steam Exchange. So with that, we'll jump right into the operational updates. Congratulations, we passed the 9.7 thousand holder milestone. We're just 300 members away from 10,000. I remember just 24 hours ago, we were celebrating 7,000. And then in the same 24 hours, we celebrated 8,000. And now we're on our way to 10,000. So a huge congratulations to the community. Definitely congratulations on being so resilient, holding strong, and doing what you do best, right? And keeping the hype in the chat going. I personally, I'm in the chat all the time. But I found myself, addicted to being in the chat in the last 48 hours. Just the vibes are amazing. So congratulations there. Congratulations on continuously beating and breaking all-time high, right? It's no joke that a project touches all-time high, breaks it, and it kind of sits there for a while, but we're about to break it again, right? So congratulations on that as well. There is one thing that is close to the heart that I want to talk about as far as operations goes, and that's our Extra Life endeavor. So Steam Exchange is taking part of Extra Life 2021. For those who don't know what Extra Life is, it's a not-for-profit organization, and they specialize in working with the Children's Miracle Network of hospitals. So how it works is basically they've partnered with these hospitals, and basically it's a gaming marathon. So it's for 24 hours straight. We're going to be gaming. So Steam Exchange and our community are taking part of it. We're all going to be gaming together. And the whole purpose of it is to raise funding. And all that funding goes to our hospital of choice, which was the Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. So the way it works is it's pretty cool. It's Extra Life collects all the funds themselves. Basically, all you do is you sign up, you join the team, you set the hospital that we've specified in the description, and I'll post it again multiple times. You've seen it probably a couple times already. And then once you join the team, you set yourself a little bit of a goal. Let's say you want to raise $50 on your own, $100 on your own, whatever it is. You reach that goal, and then you just game with us for 24 hours. So just a cool little story about how it works and why I enjoy it so much. It does hit home. It's very close to the heart. I do have a newborn son. He is 8 months old, and I've already had experiences dealing with the Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. So for me, and I know also Gary, and Chris, right? So all three of us have families, and Toronto Sick Kids definitely hits home for us, but specifically for me, a few years ago, and I always choose the same hospital, I got a letter in the mail from the Toronto Sick Kids, and it said, "Dear Neville, we just want to let you know that there was an incident that occurred, a car accident. There was a young child that had to be airlifted to Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. The family didn't have any insurance or any coverage, and they couldn't afford the airlift bill because in Canada, an airlift is an unfortunate amount of money, but that's a different topic. We can get into that later on. But they said in the letter that your contribution through Extra Life went to that family and helped that family pay for that airlift for their daughter. So the hospital gets unrestricted use of this funding, which makes it even more unique than just, donating to a certain cause, right? It makes it a very specific cause, and it makes it a very, meaningful cause. So Steam Exchange is definitely taking part. Our team is growing. I think the last time I checked, we're at about 17 participants from our community, including myself and the team. So we do want to get those numbers up. We think those are rookie numbers. We think we can definitely hit close to 50 to 100 participants from our community. So let's step it up. If you're a gamer, this is perfect for you. If you're not a gamer, or you were a gamer at one point in your life, now is your chance to start gaming again, right? So definitely let's get that going. I'll post more information about that again in the chat. And the last piece for me, before I pass it on to Anki for marketing, is one that's also close to my heart, and that's our educational modules. So we finally started developing our educational modules. So we slated out 9 modules, right? And those modules are the history of cryptocurrency, the current state of cryptocurrency, the future state of cryptocurrency, and its impact on the world. That's one module. The second module is technical analysis, which is introduction to technical analysis. What a chart is, what are the red candles, what are the green candles you're seeing on the chart. Intermediate technical analysis, learning how to create your own fib retracements, learning how to create entries and exits, and then advanced technical analysis, where you can create your own trading plans, right? So that's module number 2. And then module number 3 is trading itself, right? So there's no point of getting into trading unless you learn, one, what cryptocurrency is, learn how to get into cryptocurrency and when, and then obviously eventually when and how to trade cryptocurrency. So those modules are fully in development now. So that's pretty exciting for me. That is definitely something that's in my silo under operations. So everything's always been infrastructure. So finally, there's one win for operations. So there you go. So that's the operational update. I will pass it off to Enki to do some marketing updates for you guys. So stay tuned and enjoy.
Thanks, Neville. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for being here and for your continued support. We've seen our community flourish into this positive, amazing space that it is. And it's honestly thoroughly rewarding to see the synergy and the community grow. By far, the more exciting elements for our upcoming marketing efforts, they do remain to be focused around Twitter and YouTube. On YouTube, I believe it was just yesterday that we dropped a video where Neville got to take part in a dev interview with Glorious, and he actually got the chance to go deep into some of the educational modules that he was just discussing. So if you guys haven't yet, we do recommend checking out that video. It is a good start. We do have another video that will be dropped soon by a famous YouTube influencer as well. This influencer has a different language focus, and without dropping any names or any further hints, all we can say is that this individual does have a strong Asian community following, right? And this should drop soon as well, within the next 2 to 3 days, ideally. So something to look forward to there. A third YouTube video to look forward to, and one that we're actually quite excited about, is a YouTube influencer that is sort of famous across a different niche. So this individual does have a chunky following, and we see a good relationship / opportunity here to get our cryptocurrency focused content on his channel. Twitter, talking about Twitter continues to remain an avenue that we will focus on. We've done a few Twitter spaces. We've gained some good traction there, and we'll continue to do so. We do continue to remain most active on Telegram, but Twitter and Twitter spaces, we will get into the habit of doing those more often. Each time we've put out a tweet in general, we've got some tremendous, the community push behind it. And almost each and every time we've been trending on the top section across hashtags like hashtag SafeMoon, SHIB, hashtag crypto, etc., just to name a few, right? So the focus will continue on Twitter as well. So that's the Twitter and YouTube, a small update there. We are also focusing on continuing to grow out our various community groups across the world, right? So we tie back to what we've been saying about Steam Exchange being a global initiative with a Canadian core, right? So behind the scenes, we've actually been making and organizing quite a few of these, the Telegram community groups. For those of you here, we believe that you see the vision, you like what you see. If you do see yourself in a role of a moderator for one of those community chats, please do not hesitate to reach out to Pete or myself. I will say here, full disclaimer, that these are currently volunteer positions. but rest assured that there will be some form of a long-term benefit associated here. So if you would like to step up, if you do see yourself in a leadership role helping out the team, please do reach out to us and we can see if the dots align, right? And just taking a quick step back, I want to say that one of the most pivotal aspects that we want to focus on is communication and providing the right content and information out there, right? So I want to take the time to highlight our great team of admins and mods, also who constantly help us monitor the chatbot on our website. We have a support email as well, and a phone number that you can reach out to. So for those of you who don't know, Steam Exchange actually has a toll-free number that you can reach out to and tie that in to our upcoming physical locations as well. It's essentially setting the gold standard when it comes to trust, transparency, accountability, and customer service in general, right? So Steam Exchange is here to stay. People will hear about us, the Steam Exchange name, far and wide. It's just a matter of when. So on that note, I'm just going to pass it over to Chris for a high-level stage 3 overview.
Thanks, Eki. Appreciate your words as always. So again, good day, everyone. My name is Chris Beckford. And as I mentioned, the last 7 months have been truly pivotal. A lot of great work has been accomplished thus far to get us through stage 1 and stage 2, and now into the detail integration and planning and integration of stage 3. Quick recap, because I know a lot of you are net new here to the Steam Team family. So from a stage 1 development, essentially what that saw was us exiting the gates with a fully functional proof of concept exchange. This included the full stack implementation, integration of our Bitcoin and Ethereum nodes, extensive stress testing. And when I say extensive, I mean extensive, because it has to be, just because it has to be. And our basic front end UI, which it was up earlier on, but what you saw earlier on was our stage 1 exit user interface for stage 1. With that being said, out of those gates into stage 2, what stage 2 really focused on was more around the enhancing their user experience. So we had a SWAT team of users within our community who went through extensive stress testing of the environment and provided a lot of great feedback, and a lot of that feedback was incorporated into our downstream milestones. Also within stage 2, we had our Android and Apple integration for the mobile applications, which is huge. Very importantly, the integration of our Binance Smart Chain and the expansion of our KYC into various countries, which is huge, right? Now, as we currently are in stage 3, what stage 3 is currently involved with is the development and integration of our blockchain and our native coin, and also to, very importantly, the decentralized aspect of our exchange, which we did kind of reveal over the last couple of weeks. So as always, it's jam-packed. There isn't a dull day. These guys, our team, we're definitely plugged in, working around the clock. One of the main things that we're definitely working on, and we're hoping that within the next 2 to 3 weeks we can give you guys a snippet of this, is our new splash page, right? From our new splash page, you'll be able to access the various integration points from within our centralized. Right? So we have the decentralized portion, and you have the actual centralized portion. So as of today, you'll have 3 options, right? It's a quick swap, and actually advanced trading portions, right? So definitely looking forward to giving you guys all a rundown of that and kind of how we can navigate that. So that's really fun. In parallel to that, and I won't go into too much detail because I think Gary's going to touch base on this a little bit more, but we did drop information with regards to the NFT gateway. That's going to be a very big one here, but I will save that for Gary and let Gary kind of break that down a little bit more. And in parallel to that as well, on Monday of this week, we started the detailed planning, right, with our lead developers on the blockchain and native coin. There's definitely a lot of heavy lifting as it comes to this with the detailed planning and integration. And again, as the weeks progress, there will be a lot more to kind of talk about and share with the community. So we're definitely looking forward to that and firming up everything. When it all comes together, it's going to be truly something magical. And with your help from a community driven, behind us and supporting us, it just makes us want to keep pushing more. So we truly appreciate everything you guys have done to date. And what I will do here is just toss it over to Gary, and Gary will kind of give us a little bit more breakdown of some of the things I touched on. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Thank you, Chris. So as you guys know, we had the stage 1, as Chris mentioned, and stage 2, stage 3. Let me give you guys a quick rundown before I proceed and show you a little bit of what do we put this, like snippets? We'll call them snippets. A little bit of a sneak peek was unplanned, but again, part of the delay was because we actually wanted to show you something, progress. So because a lot of people are asking for it, and community wants what the community wants, and if we could show you without compromising anything, then we will always. I've previously dropped a snippet, so I'll go over that shortly. Essentially, we announced the NFT gateway. We were gonna announce it later, but we were somewhat forced due to a competition. It was always on the blackboard. So it passed the stage of the whiteboard. It went over to the blackboard where the drawing happens. So again, if you guys recall, in every single AMA, when Neville said under one roof. So we don't want you guys using 5 different applications. And I'm gonna give a shout out over here to Troy. One of our admins is using 5 different applications to achieve all of his trading needs and wants. It's ridiculous. You shouldn't be using 5 different apps every time you transfer money from one to another, here and there, going back and forth. The fees eat you up. So when you guys ask us what are the fees going to be like cheaper than this exchange or that exchange, even if they're the same, I'm not saying they will be, they'll probably be cheaper, but let's just presume that they're the same. You're saving yourself already between having to move your funds over from 5 different exchanges, and those are the transactions that really eat you up. So the NFT gateway, what is that? So it's not that we're selling our own NFTs. It's nothing like that. Imagine not having to sign up to 20 or 30 different platforms that, we're coming out with this NFT, where they're all doing their own NFT sales and their own NFT pads where you can come in, purchase, buy, and sell NFTs. But the catch is they all have their own token. And that sometimes is frustrating because then you have to go buy that one or that one or that one in order to buy anything from those particular projects. So ours is essentially a somewhat centralized idea to this. Just the idea is centralized, right? Where you can come in and come to our NFT gateway, right? And you don't need to purchase all of these 10 other tokens that you need to buy, whatever NFT you want. If you want a dog NFT, penguin, bananas, monkeys, those are all different tokens, right? So on ours, you will simply have the ability to choose from a drop-down list of different categories, or even search for it, and you pay with SteamX. And on the back end, it converts it into whatever that project's preferred token is. So you don't have to go and sign up and go buy this one and convert it back. And oh no, you have leftover money, convert it back to BNB. That's all going to eat up your fees. It's easier if you just have the one token to rule them all, right? So that's what that idea is. It's going to save you money, and it's going to make your life a lot of hell easier. So again, imagine it's very simple. You come in, search by category, type, or what have you, whatever the criteria is at the time. And we're plugged into them, just like on our hybrid exchange, we're plugged into many pools. We'll be plugged into various different pads. Again, we'll be in communication with them to get their particular API. We will do that. It will happen. I guarantee that, right? It's just a matter of time. That particular feature is not guaranteed to be there at launch, but it is guaranteed that we will do it. I don't think it's too far down the line. I will assign it to one of the new developers that is still pending, that we have a few more, because we keep expanding. Our Indeed job hirings is still up there. We always want to surround ourselves with good, credible people, right? Now, That will happen. That will be slightly later than the launch, but nevertheless, again, it's an amazing feature that nobody has, as far as I know. Maybe they do, but not to the extent of our application. Now, for all the new people, and just if you missed it last time, we initially said that we're only doing a centralized exchange. Then we surprised everyone because, as a matter of fact, and for the sole reason of keeping it as a surprise and surprising everyone, well, we were doing a decentralized exchange. And then we explained to everyone that it's actually because we're building them in one back end, it's a hybrid. So we were never actually building just this, and then we decided that we'll build just this, and then we decided we're going to combine it. No, it was from the get-go. It's meant to be a hybrid. And then we said, you know what, guys, we're going to surprise you again. We're going to do a third exchange. A third exchange is essentially somewhat like a non-custodial exchange, where you do not need, and guys, listen carefully, you do not need to connect your wallet to do a trade. Now, for a lot of people, it baffled them. Some people understood our last explanation. Some people didn't. So I'm sorry, I'm going to be looking this way because it's running off of my wife's account. It's just easier for me to do it on this computer. But instead of maybe just explaining it, I'll explain it and show you guys a small snippet of how it actually works. So how it works is, and I'll explain it first, by you not having to connect your wallet, some people might prefer it because it's safer. So if your wallet's not connected to any website, you feel better about it because, again, it's not connected and nobody can have access to it, right? Because anywhere you connect it, it's temporarily accessible. How it works is it's a trustless feature. So you say what currency you're sending in, and you say what cryptocurrency you want to receive. It calculates it for you, what the difference is, and you select the slippage because the prices do alter. And as long as it's within that slippage, it'll send you your currency. So how it works is very simple. This is the, sorry, let it catch up. This is the front end. That's a small snippet of our landing page, just as it is right now. You come in and you're presented with this right now, right? So this is subject to change. We're just, as we're testing it, putting it aside, testing it, putting it aside, because we have many modules that are plugged into one another. And then essentially we'll make it nice and beautiful and good looking later on, right? So you have your sign up page, you sign in, you sign up, you have your exchange. Once you've done that, you're then logged into here. So again, let's do, let me present you guys with the example. And this is on the testnet. We plug in the values ourselves. This is not actually the price of Ethereum. I wish I'd buy a lot more. And let's just say you are sending, okay, 1 Ethereum, and the currency you picked is USDT. What is the recipient address? So you, as a user, are sending 1 ETH. What's the address you would like to receive the USDT to? So we'll just type in something random for now and hit the exchange button. Now you're presented with a message that we will make nicer message later on. But again, it says send 1 ETH to the address here that you're scanning, okay? And it will actually give you, spit out the address in the bottom later, because again, guys, this is still, we're still making this happen, still in development. It's not complete, but we're just sharing it with you. And then you get the USDT to the address that you specified initially. So again, if we go back, you are sending 1 ETH. Currently, it's worth this much USDT as an example, right? And you get USDT, okay? What is the address you would like to receive your USDT at? That's what it's asking you here. Then you hit the exchange button, and the system will then generate address for you to send your Ethereum to. Once it's been through several confirmations that have been predetermined and we've received the Ethereum, the system will automatically, on a trustless feature, send you your USDT back. This is how you do a trade without plugging in your wallet. So I hope that clarifies a lot of things. I hope you guys got a little bit of a snippet of what's going on. We're not stale. We are continuing the development constantly, no matter what. And we are tired, guys. We're beat up. So bear with us if you guys are sending us DMs and we're not getting back to you within that split second. One more thing I want to go over is soon we'll have our merchandise up and running. It will be a tab on the existing website. You will be able to pick and choose and maybe even custom order what you'd like. We'll go from there. There will be several items that are VIP only, so we haven't decided yet what they are, what the threshold is. It will depend on how much SteamX you hold. And again, there will be a trustless feature for you to display it. It will not be saved in the database. Anything that we don't need won't be saved, okay? So if you're obviously asking to receive something and you're paying for it, you will have to provide an address and a name, where it's going, and what kind of shipping you'd like. Bear that in mind, okay? Now, we did have a pumpkin contest that's supposed to end right now, and today I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the winner. We surprisingly and quite disappointingly did not have too many submissions. We had quite a few, but not as many as I'd hoped. I mean, the prize is one BNB after all. This gentleman, the name is Digital XFin with the Canadian icon and a whale. This is, guys, I want you to point this out. This is carved out. So they have the train and they have the SteamX logo, and for whatever reason, they managed to capture my mother-in-law here, but yeah, it's okay. And the skull there. It's just a little zoom in there. I think this is the winner, guys. And there's a small video. I'll drop the video later. I wasn't able to load it. I'll drop the video for you guys later. But digital, I don't want to butcher it. XIN Fin. Do DM Brianna with your Binance Smart Chain BNB address, and you will receive it by end of day. Congratulations. And I'm just seeing here, I think, Neville, did you want to sum something up about the NFT gateway? And before I pass it to Neville, for those of you that were wondering, I know I had a few DMs. As you can see under method, it shows burn. That is what we initially did. Our initial supply was 100 billion. We did a true burn in the BSC space. We've disrupted it. Several projects have approached us and asked us for the code and how it functions. That is what a real burn looks like. So it's not a dead address send, it's a burn. I saw some people in the chat that also found this online. Congratulations, guys. You guys do know how to do your own research, and it shows. It shows when people know what's going on. Again, as Neville said, we continuously are breaking barriers, and it's awesome to see that the resistance level is just below all-time high, and it continuously is growing. It's quite phenomenal. I'm surprised that nobody found this yet. That is one thing I'm surprised about. As you can see, everything matches. That is our duns that Neville likes to talk about. Again, thank you guys for being here. I do apologize for the delay. Stage 1 and stage 2 are done. We're full force in stage 3. Neville, I think you had something to add there.
For sure. So 2 things I want to add, actually, against your will, but I'm going to do it anyways, right? So, oh, look at the face he's making there. Anyways, so the NFT gateway, right? It's, Gary explained it pretty well, right? But like the vision behind it is that there's a lot of platforms, right, that do NFTs well, and we're seeing more and more of them come up every single day, right? And we're seeing really cool NFTs. We're seeing a lot of platforms that are specialized in creating NFTs and the art behind it. We are not those experts, right? So we are the platform experts. We are the ones that are going to create the world's best digital asset trading platform, right? Hybrid digital trading asset platform. So like, the NFT gateway, not only can you search NFTs and be presented with them, you'll also actually be plugged in, if you choose, to those special platforms, right? So there's going to be a select few platforms that really stand out, right? That truly disrupted the space, and that they're doing it the right way, they're doing the right thing, and you can actually plug directly into that platform through your Steam Exchange login, right? So once you're logged in and you're looking to trade NFTs through the gateway, right, the API will integrate. So our API will integrate with theirs, and you'll be presented with their entire platform in Steam Exchange currency. So that's pretty cool as well, right? So it's not just the NFTs that you're presented with. These select experts, right? These platforms that do it well. We want to bring them home to Steam Exchange for you, the community. The second thing I wanted to just mention is just a quick point, right? Like Gary showed you our quick swap. So I read in the chat multiple times actually when the word quick swap was dropped.
I'm sorry, that's the swap. That was the swap.
Oh yeah, the swap. Right. A lot of comments are dropped in the chat. Oh, look, another fork of PancakeSwap, right? And what Gary just showed you was built from the ground up, right? That was 100% not a fork, and it doesn't even function the way PancakeSwap functions, right? And that's just a testament to our developers and our vision, right? We are built from the ground up. Right, everything we touch is built from the ground up. Everything is a new concept. Everything started as a vision. It went onto the whiteboard, and then Gary brought in some blackboard out of nowhere. I don't know where that came from. There is no blackboard. It's a whiteboard, and then there's documentation for it. But it went from whiteboard to planning to documentation, and then it becomes fruition. Right, so definitely enjoy this journey. Right, we're having a lot of fun developing these products. We're having a lot of fun plugging them into our platform. Right, and it's going to be equally fun for you to join us on this journey, right? And to continue joining us on this journey, right? Every hurdle, every hit mistake, every hiccup, every milestone, every triumph. I'll keep saying that like a broken record over and over again. Like this community is our family, right? We're in this position, this unique position of developing this platform. We're planning on taking on the titans of this industry, right? And you get the front row seats of us pulling that off. So enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. And again, for the new members here, welcome to our family. For the existing family that's still here, congratulations, you made it. Let's just keep this train rolling.
Thank you so much, Neville. I personally didn't see anyone calling us a copycat, but yeah, guys, we won't stand for that. It's funny, there are others that are coming out with their own swaps and decks, and it's not their own. What they do is they take PancakeSwap, throw a picture on it, and change the name, and they forget to change the coding on it to begin with. They use the same portal. All they do, they even use the same router. All they do is they just add on fees. So all these new cool exchanges that you guys are seeing, you're actually paying extra to use them. With us, as you saw, this is not something that's available anywhere I've seen. You can personally, you can go ahead and check the code out later when it's public. You'll see that it's nothing that has ever existed. Again, it also ties in to our hybrid exchange, and there isn't a hybrid out there for anyone to even begin to copy. This is all from the bottom up. If you want something particular and you have new ideas in terms of merch, you feel free to DM Brianna. She's under the admin list. Again, you know what? Let's show it one more time, Neville. What do you think?
Sure, let's go for it. And also, just Gary, just to correct you a little bit, right? We're not sitting at the all-time high resistance. We actually just broke the last all-time high, just by a little bit. But congratulations, we just broke all-time high again in the last 72 hours.
Okay. You can't correct me if this is now and I'm not looking at it. This was back when I was talking about it. That's cheating, bro. Okay, guys, this is a snippet of the front page. Again, we're not done designing the front page, so I took a snippet for you guys. But there is, like, when you click on the sign up, sign in, whatever on the top. I hope this is not delayed. Is it delayed? Okay, no, it's my screen. That's all there. That's all working. I'll send you an email. And again, let's just go back and do this exercise one more time. So this is the swap, and I know it's confusing, but let me explain to you why it's confusing, and hopefully you understand. So we have 3 different exchanges. We have the swap, which is this one. It's slower because you have to wait for the confirmations from the blockchain before your crypto gets sent back to you after you convert it. The quick swap is where you do plug in your wallet, and then we know that the funds are immediately available, and that is quicker, right? That's why it's called the quick swap. And then we have the advanced, which is the more centralized feel to it, with all the graph tools, fib retracement available there, and whatnot. And we'll go into details. We will have different study sessions or different more precise AMAs that target one particular structure, because as we expand all this material, it's hard to cover within a short period of time. So then we'll start doing different ones in the same day, or maybe one after another, where it's more particular and just for that module. So again, if you want 1 Ethereum, for example, this number here is a temporary number that we've plugged in for the purpose of testing. Obviously, I'll be pulling it. There will be a little slot for slippage. And why slippage, you say? If some of you may ask, it's again because by the time the transactions are done, confirming the price may change. And as long as it's within the slippage ratio, it'll send you the USDT. So that you guys are aware that there's a slippage. If it changes beyond the slippage, so it's bigger, what it'll do is it'll send you the crypto back. So it will just refund you so that the crypto is not stuck in the system. And of course, you have to understand that there are transaction fees involved with that. It just depends on what crypto you send, right? So for example, for ETH, I'd probably set a little bit of more of a higher slippage than if you're just swapping out token on the Binance Smart Chain. So again, you can do all of these without plugging in your wallet. That is called a swap. And then we have the quick swap, where you'll have a different option here on the top to connect your wallet. It's quicker because the wallet's connected. We know that the funds are available. And then we have another feature, which is the more centralized feature to it, where you have the graph and more advanced trading. And we'll touch base on that more later. But Neville did mention in the previous AMAs, for you to access certain features, we have to know that you know what you're doing, and either you go through the courses and it gets added to the database that you've completed the courses, or you obviously go through the lengthy disclaimer that you have to read and then click the button to understand that you accept this without doing through the courses, right? Again, just go over one more time. You sending this ETH, this number is temporarily there. There will be another button here for slippage. Let's just say this is my address, what have you. So again, I'm swapping 1 ETH. ETH is approximately worth 968. And I want to receive USDT, and this is without plugging in the wallet. Hit the exchange. Here we will add the address as well, so you can actually copy and paste it. For now, we just did, for the purpose of testing, a QR bar, right? And you send it to the QR bar, and you get USDT to the address that you specified previously. That will take confirmations on the blockchain. Once the certain amount of confirmations has been acquired, the system will automatically, using a trustless feature, will send you your selected currency, in this case USDT. So again, that is the swap. And then there's a quick swap where you connect your wallet, and then there is the more centralized hybrid touch to it. Now, all of this does operate on the one source code in the back. So they all tie to each other. This is a hybrid. So this makes things a heck of a lot faster. Okay, guys, that is the benefit of a hybrid. I think we are good for questions, question period. Unless anybody has anything else to add. I don't think so. Okay, so we can go ahead over to the question period. And just in case you guys missed it, this is the contest winner for the Halloween pumpkin. The particular one I liked is the steam train. That's about a steamroll my mother-in-law. And yeah, congrats to Digital. please DM Brianna your BSC address, and we'll send you over that one BNB that you won, sir. Appreciate the contest, and thank you everyone else who made an entry. Stay tuned for further contests. Actually, I think Anki, you had a contest, no?
Yes, we actually do have some form of a contest live, guys, where essentially the person who is taking notes and converts that into a readable and easily digestible format in terms of a summary for this AMA. When we can present that to our community, the best person who does that summary will win 100 BUSD. So hopefully, let the creative juices flow, and hopefully you guys have been taking notes. But Gary,
Well, that's amazing, man. Honestly, if I was paid to take notes in school, man, that would be a different story. I would have.
That's right. And so you paid them to take notes in school.
But no, guys, I think on that note, this is a good time to open up the floor to any questions. So members of our community, if you do have anything to ask or you'd like clarity on, please feel free to raise your hand, and we can go in a first come first order and slowly just get through them. So Crypto Master, I do see.
Give me 1 second, Anki. Give me 1 second. I'll figure that out for you guys. Guys, in the main chat, I'm gonna drop the video that was sent to us as part of the submission. That I couldn't put up the video here, but I'm gonna drop it in the main chat for you guys to see. That person did submit a video as well with their pumpkin. That's actually kind of cool. I'm very impressed. So as Anki said, we'll be doing a question period now. Again, raise your hand. You will be unmuted. And once you're unmuted, obviously, just if you're done talking, mute your mic. Limit 2 questions per person, guys. Limit of 2 questions per person. Do not speak over one another. Please respect one another. If you do break these rules of speaking over one another, then you will be muted and you will not be unmuted again. Okay, guys? I hope that was clear. Please, everybody, respect one another. I think Enki was giving the first person was, I think, Amir. Amir M. You are now free to speak, sir. Go ahead. Sorry, Enki. Thank you.
Hey, guys. Amazing, May. I have a question. I saw that you're already working on the BSC and Ethereum chain. What will be the next chain after those? Is it gonna be Solana, or are you planning to integrate others networks?
I think that's Chris. Did you want to answer that, or
you can go ahead?
Okay. Nothing is off the table right now. We're working with the major ones first, and eventually we'll plug in all the rest of them as well, right? So nothing's off the table. I don't see why we wouldn't implement it. We're just currently focusing on the big ones. They do require separate plugins. I don't see it taking a while to plug them in. It's just, again, it's just another server that we have to deploy. That's all. Once it works on the Ethereum and the BNB chain, those are the 2 major ones. After that, is just the code is all set up. It's all there. It's just a matter of plugging in another blockchain to it. That's all.
Thank you.
No problem. Amir, is that all? You have another question?
That's all. Everything is clear.
Thank you. Okay, let's. I'm just, again, guys, I'm not being picky. I'm going down the list. Literally just,
I think Crypto Master was after Amir.
You are correct. I was just about to do that. Crypto Master, you're free to speak, sir. Go ahead.
All right. So first of all, I just want to appreciate the team for such a detailed AMA. And I really listened from the beginning, and I'm very, very excited with the new developments that are actually up and running. Now, I just want to have I just want to ask a question. During the beginning of the AMA, you was talking about making donations to an hospital. I didn't really get that clearly. Like we're gonna play a game and we're gonna raise funds and then we're gonna make donations to a hospital. I just wanted to know the details.
That's a good question. That's a very good question for those of you who didn't get it. I believe, Neville, would you like to answer this one?
Sure. So Yeah, so it's not like directly sending money to a hospital. So the way it works is there's an organization called Extra Life, and we have. So personally, myself, I've taken part in Extra Life for the last 5 years, or this is year 5 rather. So this year, I thought I'd make it a little bit special and involve our community because, of course, the community's there. They weren't there 5 years ago. So I thought it would be really cool if we kind of united together as a community for this cause. And of course, to each their own, right? It's up to you to research the cause, go to the Extra Life website, look into what they're all about, and then decide if it's something you want to take part of or not. For us, Extra Life is, like I said, very, very close to home, right? Like the hospital we're supporting is the Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. And like I mentioned, all three of us, between Gary, Chris, and myself, have experienced sick kids in some way or form, having children ourselves. So the way it works is simple, right? You sign up for Extra Life. You set yourself a little bit of a goal, whatever that goal is. So, for example, my personal goal for this year is $1,500. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it does add up as a team, right? And then say your goal is $50 or $25, whatever it is. Once you're on the team, you basically join us on November 6th. For game day, and that's basically 24 hours of gaming, right? You don't have to be there for the full 24 hours. You can be there for 5 minutes. You can be there for 5 hours, whatever you're comfortable gaming for, and you just hang out and game with us. And all the proceeds, all the funding we raise as a community through Extra Life. So again, you're not sending me, Gary, or Chris any money. It goes directly to Extra Life. Extra Life will then, at the end of the season, the Extra Life season 2021, send those funds directly to Sick Kids Hospital, Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. And then it's given a number. It's given our team number, which is Team Exchange, or Team Exchange 2021. And basically now the Toronto Sick Kids Hospital knows that Steam Exchange or the Steam Exchange family has contributed X amount of dollars, and now they can use those funding for whatever they want, right? And the example I gave earlier was actually a very a touchy one for me because, like, I didn't expect to get a letter in the mail from the Toronto Sick Kids saying, "Hey, Neville, like, just letting you know, first of all, thank you for taking part in Extra Life. Your funding went to help a family whose daughter was involved in a car accident and had to be emergency airlifted to Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. The family couldn't afford it, didn't have insurance, so when they got the bill, it was way outside of their budget. Of course, no one plans for these kind of things to happen in their life. So the Extra Life funding that my team raised that year went towards that daughter's case, right, to help pay for that air transport to Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. So it's unrestricted use of the funds. I think it's a very probably one of the most sincere causes, right? And children are our future, right? And if you're a family man or a family, you have a family, right? It definitely hits home for you too, right? Like having a family and knowing that there's something out there that's there for them no matter what, unrestricted. In this case, it's for Toronto, but there are other hospitals that other teams support all over the world, right? That this cause is for that. It's for our children, and it's for children in your life. So it hits close to home. And again, our involvement ends at raising the funds and gaming, right? The rest of it is done through Extra Life. So again, I'll post a link in the chat. We did put it together, and we're fast approaching November 6th. So whoever does want to jump in and game with us on November 6th, feel free to take a look at Extra Life, do your research, feel comfortable what they're all about, and join our team.
Neville, you want to just quickly mention how much of that actually goes there and about the game room?
100% goes there. So I opted in for Steam Exchange. So any of the proceeds that we raise covers all of Extra Life's fees. So after it's all done, when it's all said and done, Steam Exchange will be given an invoice that's the accumulation of all the fees that Extra Life were to collect if or you would have had to pay yourself, or the person donating the funds would have to pay themselves, and we're covering it. So 100% of all the funds that we raise is going to the Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. We do have a game room set up. So far, we have set up a couple of gaming servers for some popular games. So if you are interested in those games, we'll have the details on the server details in that channel for you. Just don't follow Gary into his trap of gaming with him because you'll be there all night. And we don't have time for that.
And you will lose. You can just ask Maurice last time. And it wasn't bad, bro. You can ask Maurice, man. I fixed the map. and it was really nice and smooth. He lost pretty quick. Yeah. So please join. I need some fresh kills.
And Neville, don't worry. This time, I promise I won't rage quit, man. I know I'm good, man. I'll be on.
You don't rage quit, bro. Come on.
I can second what Neville said. I was cutting trees for the whole game. It was hilarious.
Hey, that's a little muffled. Could you speak up,
Yeah,
please?
he said he was cutting trees for the whole game, and my scenario that I gave in the chat wasn't a joke, guys. I was serious. I was in this map with Gary, cutting down trees. My poor lumberjacks, right? We're cutting down trees for so long. I swear to God, I was sitting in that chair cutting trees for 3 hours.
Okay. Maurice, was there a
Hold on.
lot for you to build around the main house or no?
Let me finish my scenario, Gary. Come on. I went inside. I gave my son a bottle of milk. I put my son to sleep. Sorry, I gave him a bath, then put him to sleep. Came outside, and my lumberjacks were still cutting down trees. So
It's a
again,
custom map, and it didn't leave the room. Okay,
Gary,
I'm sorry. I fixed it.
All right, guys.
But
Sorry,
guys,
we do have quite a few.
Yeah,
hands
and
up.
I was
Okay.
just gonna
So I
say,
think El Chino
Gary,
was next there.
just to add here, Gary, just on a more serious note, guys, this is something, taking part in these type of initiatives is something, as Neville, as Gary and Chris have mentioned, that ties in, it hits home, and that does tie into the ethos and principles of Steam Exchange, right? So for this first initiative, we are tying it back to something that is near home, but rest assured, as we scale and grow, we do look forward to supporting other initiatives across the world as well. This is just the start of things to come. I just wanted to add that there.
Thank you. And actually, I did a video about this while I was at Sick Kids, and my son was getting a few MRI scans done. For those of you that were here, this was just before we had a growth of 3,000 members. Okay, let's proceed. Alchino 305, sir, you had your hand up. You are unmuted. Please go ahead, sir.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Appreciate you letting me ask a question here. I guess this is for the more moderators or anyone in general. Do we have anyone who's dedicated in creating templates in the Telegram so we could actually copy and paste into Twitter to show?
Okay, sir. This is Pete here. Pete, this is a question for you because you handle that group there. Pete, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. Can you hear me?
Yo, go ahead and take that answer.
Okay, cool. So anytime you guys do need templates, feel free to DM me or Anki. All right, preferably me because sometimes Anki is swamped with other things as well. And I do have a shell template with me that you guys can use on Twitter, and you guys can modify it whichever way you want.
Perfect.
We also have the group, right?
I was just gonna say, yeah, Chino, and if you haven't yet, our Shill Army or our raid group, they're an incredibly they're a great group of individuals. So if you haven't yet, that would be one avenue for you to join as well.
Okay, I'm actually
Exactly,
in
bro.
the group, but I really haven't seen anything came up on my notification. I'm probably missing it, but I'll double check and make sure.
Yeah, I think you might be missing them, bro, because I know the group is fairly active. We have multiple posts that go out throughout the day, so definitely something to look into there.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Right on, Chino. And you have another question, sir? You're still qualified for one more question if you'd like.
Yes. Do any of y'all play Call of Duty?
Let's go, buddy.
You
buddy.
can DM. You can DM us. DM us or Neville in particular, and he'll give you a link over to our game room. Again, guys, we're not there 24/7. This is just for practice before the big day. But definitely, yes, we do. Neville likes to claim that he's the best at it, but from what I've heard, I don't know. I have to see it for myself.
I'll bring you to the promised land, my man. Let's go. November 6th.
I don't know, man. Listen, supposedly some people work the desert for 40 years, so I don't know about promised land, but let's just leave that for later. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, and I'm just going down the list, guys. I'm not being, picky or whatnot. Next one on my list here is Crypto Win. You can go ahead and ask a question. Crypto went with the yellow car in the profile picture. All right, we're gonna go ahead with Coral. Coral, go ahead, sir. Okay, maybe you changed their mind. Zoe, you are next on my list. You are now free to speak.
There I am. Sorry. I didn't press
Sorry?
my unmute. Here I am,
Okay,
Coro.
Coral. So Zoe, you're after Coral, please. Okay.
So,
Coral, go
apologies.
ahead.
Great AMA as usual, guys. Quick question about the NFT gateway. Will it be, with regards to the marketplaces that it plugs into, will it be a curated list, or will it just go out and find everything that's, an NFT marketplace on, say, the BSC space and automatically plug into it, or how does that all work?
That's a very good question. Let me start it and then I'll pass it off to Neville to fill you in more. Again, we are able to plug into any that we want. I'm not aware of any tool that just literally finds everything on the deep dark web that's out there, kind of thing. You know what I mean? You have to point it. So I think Neville can add more to that, though.
For sure. So
he does the HR department as well. He'll know more about what's considered explicit or not.
correct. Yeah. Thank you, Gary. So definitely there's going to be access to NFTs, right? So we're going to plug in known artists, right? So the top artists that are out there, we're going to plug those into our API. So when you are presented with the NFT gateway, those artists will be selectable and you can filter by those artists, doesn't matter what platform they're on. But when we talked a little bit about the main function of the gateway, and that's plugging directly into the platform, the NFT platform of choice. So those are going to be a curated list. That's going to be a very specific list. We want to pick the best of the best, right? We want to pick the platforms that have been tried, tested, and proven, that have stood the test of time, right, and provide disruption in the space, right? Their NFTs are quality. Their NFTs are not just art. Their NFTs come with other aspects, right? Like NFTs, they're evolving, right, and they're becoming, I was going to make a pun and say smarter, right? Because NFTs are smart contracts, but they're becoming smarter, right? And we want to gravitate towards like-minded organizations. So the curated list of platforms that you can plug into, yes, that's going to be very selective, but artists, themes, those will all be selectable, and we'll have our API do a scout for them on platforms, known platforms.
Cool. All right. Sounds great. Thank you very much.
Well, you are eligible for one more question if you'd like to go ahead with that one, if you have one, sir.
No, it's primarily about the NFT thing because I'm heavily into a very specific marketplace, so I hope it ends up on the list. But that's all from me.
When we get closer to actually going live with it, we'll come up to the community and ask them, what do you guys want to see, and just to kind of align more. So we'll definitely circle back to that.
Yeah, but definitely keep in mind those platforms that we plug into. That's not a involuntary situation, right? So like scouting for API, using an API to scout for NFTs, like that's kind of trustless, right? That can happen regardless. It doesn't matter what platform it's on, but plugging into the platform directly, that is almost a partnership situation, right? So it's going to take some negotiation. It's going to take them reaching out to us reaching out to them. So it is a process, right? So it's definitely something to stay tuned for. The process has begun as far as planning it out and how to approach these platforms and what we have in mind. But like I said, it's continuing to evolve, and like Gary mentioned, it's not slated for launch when a platform goes live. It is going to come shortly after. So stay tuned for it.
Sounds good. I have some DMs.
I think
people who run the marketplace, so I might give them a buzz to speak to you guys at some point.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your questions, man.
Cool. Thank you.
Guys, can we please again reiterate that we don't want people talking over one another? Coral, I hope that answers your question there. I believe after Coral there was Zoe. Zoe, go ahead, Zoe. If you still have a question.
Hi guys. I have a couple of questions. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I have a couple questions. My first question was if you guys can give us an update on having a physical location and where you guys are at in that process.
We are
Because I know by
continuously
now you guys
looking. Yeah, no problem. We're continuously looking to see if some sort of gem comes up, then we will jump on it. Previous to our timeline, but our timeline for physical location to actually start it is closer to our launch. And the way we have it out right now, news-wise, is that it's going to be in Q1 of next year. So that's within the 3 months of next year, right? And again, we're looking to do it near a major artery, so it's not necessarily like downtown Toronto or anything. We're thinking about our community, and we're thinking about what is more convenient for the community and for the surrounding cities. The Greater Toronto, Hamilton area, for example, right? What's easiest? Ideally, it'd be near a major artery, like a highway. If you're familiar with the area, I'm just gonna throw out a thought over there. Let's just say some plaza next to 400 and 407, for example, right? So we don't want people sitting in traffic for an hour. So downtown Toronto as the first location is probably not going to happen. We're looking to make it as convenient as we can with everybody in mind, right? So people will come from surrounding areas of Toronto as well, not just Toronto.
Yeah, and Gary, if you don't mind me just adding, not
I don't mind.
just
Go ahead.
about, yeah, not just about location, right? Because we have been, there's a lot of logistical planning that goes in even from a facilities perspective, physical facilities, and so on and so forth, right? So there's definitely a lot of logistical planning that's in the works right now, which is being finalized. But yeah, definitely location is key. But behind the scenes as well too, in terms of what services that are going to be hosted out of the facility, and kind of how that all ties in together to the location is huge as well, and it's definitely in flight. So to Gary's point,
what the size of the parking lot is and whatnot, all these small details that people don't normally bother putting out there. I'm not going to tell you that we're looking at a parking lot the size of 5 cars, 10 cars. We're looking. We're always looking, and if a gem comes up, then we'll definitely jump on the opportunity. But it's not. We didn't plan on actually grabbing a physical location, signing a lease or what have you in this year. It was more for next year. And Neville, did you have something in mind to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to also add, don't expect our first physical location or our first headquarters to be some vibrant, 20-story building, right? Like, we are going to be scaling as we go. So that is a goal for us, to scale into a headquarters that is state of the art. But the first physical location where we set roots, it comes down to brass tacks, right? We definitely need infrastructure facilities to be there, security to be there, right? And as long as we can cross all those T's and dot all those I's, that's the location we'll choose. And like Gary mentioned, there were a few that we did have our eyes on in the area of choice. It's just not the time yet, right? We're in development mode, and that's where we want to stick for now. But Q1 2022, that's when the gears shift and the physical location will become the reality.
And all of that, again, Neville, right? It just it pains me to say it, but I don't know how many more waves they're gonna say that we're gonna have with COVID, right? So it also depends on that. We are going into winter season here in Canada very shortly, soon, right? And hopefully everything goes smooth, but you never know what's gonna happen. So provided that all the stars align and everything is good, then it will. Otherwise, if we start experiencing further lockdowns, then we might have to delay the actual physical location until it makes sense. So is that all your questions there, Zoe?
I had one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
In terms of development, what are you guys' biggest challenge at the moment as a team?
I think that's a question best answered by Chris. Chris, go ahead. Do you want to keep going?
I wouldn't necessarily put it as the biggest challenge, but in terms of the biggest workload right now, we definitely have our hands full. And I always like to make the joke in terms of, I'm the fly on the wall, or a lot of people say, I'm kind of like, incognito. That's because, the teams are definitely hard at work in the background here, right? So in terms of the blockchain and the native coin, that's definitely the most heavy lifting in all of our entire roadmap, going through stage 1, stage 2, and where we are. So that's definitely where a lot of the heavy lifting is. So yeah, I mean, in looking at it from that aspect, in terms of the biggest workload and the biggest tasks ahead, I would say that, yeah, in my opinion, that's probably the most challenging, but it's definitely going to be the most rewarding. I'll just put it like that.
Right. Let me add to that. As you can see, with the example and the little snippet that we've showed you today, Neville and I are coders. Like, I went to school for computer engineering personally, right? Neville's been coding and at DHL, I mean, doing all the server work for them as well. We do code a lot, and this is why we stay up late. And part the reason is we do code during the day as well. But again, the entire family is, the later it gets, the more peace we get, more peace and quiet. So we do code every day, at night, in the morning, whenever we get a chance, and we do testing on the back end. And we try to maintain, availability for the people of the community and be available for them at the same time as well. So I think that the biggest challenge is trying to be at both places at once. So we want to remain available for the community, be here, answer questions, and at the same time, we are building something new. There is no copy paste. So we're working through it, with our developers. We're coding it and we're combining everything together, because people, the bigger the project is, the more people you have involved, and people are responsible for one line of code, one segment here, one segment there, and then we put it together, and then Neville and I get together, we test it, we modify it, we put our line of code together. So I think that's the biggest challenge here, is remaining available for all our members, everyone who's supporting us, while still focusing on doing the job at hand. That's a good
Sure.
question.
You'll always hear me say when I'm on the voice chat at night with our friend Pete, like, I'm in the background working. So if you have any questions, let me know. And then you'll hear my keyboard go off for the next 20 minutes. So yeah, it's definitely, nighttime is definitely our coding time. It's when we have the most time to ourselves. So like Gary mentioned, that is when we're the most active coding.
That a satisfactory, acceptable answer there, Zoe, for you?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, Zoe. Okay, I'm gonna continue going down the list here. Is that it, guys? I don't see anybody with their hand up.
Yep, that was it. There was a couple of questions in the chat that or at least one question that I want to answer. Or Gary, you can answer rather.
Why don't you read it out and
well, I lost it.
I don't see it on the screen.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sharing the screen, so I don't see it.
Yeah, the question was will there be leverage or derivative trading, or will it come down the line?
Did you want me to take that, or did you want to take that, or did you want Chris to take that?
That's your bread and butter question, my man.
Nothing is off the table. That is a different license still, guys. And if we just keep adding features to our launch date right off the start, then we'll have to keep delaying it, or actually not keep delaying it, because we have not delayed it yet. Actually, everything we've done so far has always been ahead of schedule. Not to pat ourselves on the back or jinx it, but that's the honest truth. Nothing is off the table. It is a different license. We do have our legal working on several things for us at the moment being, but it's not off the table. So it's what we've said so far is what we're gonna go ahead with when we start. And once we start, we're gonna start expanding features and modifications and what have you not.
Yeah, and Gary, just to echo that, in terms of nothing's off the table, the way we're developing our platform allows us to scale pretty rapidly, right? So, initially it might not be on the table. However, we are, we will have the appropriate mechanisms in the back end to incorporate such functionality, literally within the snap of a finger, right? Providing we have the appropriate licenses and stuff like that. So, from a functionality perspective, we're putting ourselves in the best position possible to scale and adapt accordingly.
Actually, you just reminded me one thing. The way our coding works is just a fun fact here, guys. Even if we don't have access to a certain blockchain per se, or we did not deploy it yet, but there is a big ask for a certain coin that just came out on, I'm going to say random, or excuse me for the poor choice of words here, but just to explain it quickly, random blockchain, and but there's a coin that the community wants. The way our code works, as long as it is being currently traded on any exchange out there that has API capability, then we would be able to fairly quickly added. I don't want to guarantee a timeline here, but let's just say up to 72 hours if we're actually on it to implement that particular coin or token or what have you from this quote unquote random blockchain, even though we're not directly connected into it. Just a little feature there, fun fact. Thank you, Chris. Neville, was there anything else in the chat that I might have missed? Or guys, if you have any questions or no matter how silly you think it is, or you're afraid that it's been already answered, I think we'd all rather you guys ask it again, because there may be another person that's actually shy to go on the air and ask, and they're thinking the same thing as you. So please, guys, and no matter what it is, how silly you think it is, or if you think somebody answered it but you don't want to be that person, ask it, please.
I think we're good then for questions.
No, hold on. Main chat question. BFABBS. What was that? Question carried. What's that? Did I miss that?
Oh, that's, yeah, you weren't on the Twitter Spaces. So someone asked during the Twitter Spaces, is our blockchain going to be proof of work or proof of stake? And then I let them know that, hey, we're a hybrid digital trading platform. Why wouldn't we have a hybrid one? So maybe you can chime in on that.
Yeah, I said that's not off the table yet, but as we get closer, that's a small part of it. So the way we're building it, you don't have to decide it from the get-go. Some of them you have to decide from the get-go because that's how the way they operate. The way we're building it, we don't have to decide it from the get-go. I was contemplating going one way or the other. Right now, I'm weighing out the benefits of having both, actually. So, for example, one way versus the other way is slightly quicker. So if a trader or a person that's moving funds would like to verify quicker, why not give them the option, something other than just front running another person's transaction and thereby slowing them, right? So normally how it is now, you pay a little bit more gas and you front run the transaction, and that's how you get in. But how many people can do that until you jam it up, right? And that's why all these other blockchains are having to do EIPs and whatnot to mitigate for it. So why not have, or at least consider the hybrid option where the user can choose how they want it verified, and thereby you're actually satisfying the best of both worlds, again, between gamers who have graphic cards that want to mine and people who just want to run a node in the basement or on an online server or whatnot. So we haven't decided yet between all three of these options. Personally, I'm still leaning towards the hybrid option where, again, let's have both. And give the user the option when they send a transaction, how they want it authorized, how quickly, and thereby adjusting their gas accordingly to it, right?
And then you also answered a second backup question to that was, can we mine your native token? So you definitely answered that as well as, yeah. So if you are an avid miner like Gary is, there's definitely going to be mining components to our infrastructure.
Yes, so mining is again, no, the mining is usually referred to like a GPU or ASIC. I prefer personally GPUs for many reasons, like the resale value is better and you can game on it. Again, mining is usually referred to GPUs, and then you could run a node. So again, if we're going with the hybrid option, you could be doing both. You run a node, the validator node, and technically you're not mining, you're validating, but some people consider it mining. So either way, yes. The only difference is if you run a node, it's going to be a quick node and not a full node, because full nodes are going to be audited through us, and there will be only a several amount of people or companies that we allow to run a full node. It's a lot more complicated than a short answer here, Neville. I'm sorry, but that's the gist of it. A full nodes will have to be audited by us and approved by us, because essentially that's a big security feature, right?
For sure. Thanks for that explanation, Gary. There's another question in the chat. Can you explain what happens when the exchange goes live in Q1 2022? Our current tokens is changed to the native coin. So yes. So the way we have, so there's multiple scenarios where we're kind of on our whiteboard, right? And the one that makes the most sense is during registration, your swap would take place, right? So you would sign up. You'd be asked a question: do you hold SteamX coin or SteamX token? You click yes, and then you're presented with a portal to swap in. Again, it's still in development, and the way it functions can change multiple times between now and when it goes live. Once it's tested, that's when we'll know for sure. So definitely stay tuned. Yes, in Q1 2022, once our native coin and our platform and our blockchain is fully developed, tested, audited, and good to go, we will facilitate the swap to the native coin.
And again, Neville, I think it's fair to mention that we're not forcing people to KYC to swap. There will be a portal available through the hybrid exchange, right? That they can swap without KYCing with us. Another thing that's fair to mention, I believe, the portal will be open for a limited amount of time, and by limited, I don't mean a week or 2 weeks. It will be a fair amount of time, but don't expect to come back 4 years later and for us to still maintain that portal online. Right now, I think, Neville, what's the latest we decided there on the board is that we would send the 2.wallet, the equivalent funds of
in BNB, yeah. No,
BNB,
BNB.
no?
So
BNB?
it doesn't matter, right? We can decide at the time. But so the idea is once that time frame elapses, whoever has not swapped in will get paid out essentially in the at the last known price of the token that it was trading at. So whatever we do, whatever the last known price is, you'll just get your BNB back if you missed the swap time frame. But again,
and again, missed it would mean that you really missed it, not like, oh, it was a deadline for 12 at midnight and you didn't get it. No, it would mean that you really, 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 really missed it.
Yeah, and then also, like, one thing to consider is, like, there's going to be a lot of marketing around that swap, right, and around the native coin. So it's going to be very difficult for you to miss it anyways, right? We're definitely looking very large-scale marketing for the platform when the time comes. So when we're around that point, that December, January point, you'll see a lot of heavy marketing, real-world marketing around our platform. So you're definitely not going to miss that swap or the swap timelines and details. And if you do, we will still facilitate you by at the minimum sending you what you're due, right? So whatever the value of your holdings were, the last known price, you will get that sent to you.
Fair thought. There was someone that DM'd me about something that I actually was coincidentally talking to my wife about, that I was going to bring up to you guys personally, but I don't know. a lot of people are worried that when Binance leaves, they're going to be stuck. Have the thought ever crossed my mind to do a partial launch where we let people somewhat migrate over, and I don't know how I feel about that, guys. Just because we do not want to put our name on anything that's half done, right? So I hope that answers that person's question there. I don't see anybody with their hands up.
There's another question from the chat though.
Yes, I don't see anybody with their hands up. But yeah, let's take that question from the chat.
Sure. There's actually two. So the first one is, will trading be disabled on the native coin and BSC token at swap time?
Okay, would you like me to answer that?
Sure, go ahead.
So once the portal is open, we, as Neville said, will definitely speak about it. It will be very well put out there, very well known, publicized, whereas if you didn't know that we opened it, then it would almost be negligible, because we would make sure that everybody knows about it. So if you went away to live your life in the desert for a year, that would be probably the only way that you wouldn't know about when the portal is open. Now, would the trading be disabled? Yes, we would move the liquidity over and you wouldn't be able to trade on it, right? So the liquidity would go over from the BSC space token that we have currently now over to the native coin on our own blockchain. So you won't be able to trade anything that has no liquidity, right?
Correct. Thank you for that answer, Gary. Okay, another question from the chat. Can the team work on finding a way to migrate all the tokens? If not migrated tokens are converted to BNB, it can significantly decrease market cap, holder values, and create FUD. Can the team work on finding a way to migrate all the tokens? So, when we say migration, my man, it's not like a migration to another decentralized, I know what you're talking about, and I don't want to name any projects names, but it's not going to be like that, right? So when we say migration to our native coin, it means that our native coin and blockchain is now live. So the market cap, the holder's value, none of that will be impacted by the swap. So once we stop the trading, there's going to be a snapshot taken of all the holders, whether they've already swapped it or not. And the value won't be like if, Tom migrated first, now your value is going to be lower. No, everyone's value that's migrating into the platform from the BSC token will be the same cost value, right? So don't worry about the market cap and the holder's value during the swap. It's not like the other swaps that or migrations you were a part of. It's definitely going to be probably one of the best swaps we've ever seen. So at least the way we're thinking it through and then the way we're planning it. So definitely stay tuned for the journey and enjoy the ride. And yeah, don't worry about that part. That's not a. Let me
add something. Let me add something to that, if you don't mind, please. This is only because, and again, we might do it completely differently, but we're preparing it for this scenario. But if what we have planned on the actual side, because we are doing something else on the side, if it works, then you will essentially need to simply just have our app, and once you have our app, it will already have our blockchain in it, and we'll on the portal, all you have to do is claim your own address, right? They'll generate you an address when you swap over, and then the blockchain will automatically drop you your tokens. Does that make more sense, Neville?
No, for sure. And yeah, and again, just to like reassure you, to you, the person who asked the question, also the community, the swap is going to be very well thought out, right? It's not going to be something that's a last minute or an afterthought. It's being thought of now as we speak, right? So Everything we do has been planned and deliberated. So keep that in mind. There are 2 other questions in the chat. We can probably answer them at the same time. Or Gary, I guess we can give this one to you. Will there be incentives, airdrops for pre-native coin holders, brackets early adopters, supply drops, or whatnot? And then the second question with it wasn't with it, not the same person, but we can tie it together. The swap ratio from the BSC token to the native. When will we decide on that?
So we'll decide on it closer to completion. The swap ratio is not something that we're worried about. I don't know why people are worried about it. I've mentioned it before, so let me mention it again. We did a real burn. As you can tell, let me open it up. As you can tell here, we've done a real burn. This is a snippet at the time, guys, so don't go looking for it 4 days ago. It wasn't 4 days ago. It was more than 4 days ago, but at the time, I took a screenshot of it. That was a real burn, so we decreased supply. We also, part of our swap and liquefy, have a portion of the transaction tax that gets burned, okay, instead of going to us. Now, obviously, when we move over to our own blockchain, we don't have a need to move over that debt wallet. So that alone, by getting rid of that, would also raise the floor. Now, in terms of, just leave that out of the equation for a second here. Whatever your bag value was prior to the swap, it will be the same after the swap, and that's with leaving the dead address out of the equation, right? Theoretically, if you take out the dead address, and now only saying theoretically because there's many other factors that come into play, but if you remove the dead address and the liquidity pool value is the same, then your bag value goes up. So it shouldn't be relevant to the ratio of how many actual tokens you're holding. It should be relevant to price. So the price, at the very minimum, the value in dollars will be identical, if not more.
Correct. And then the second question was, will there be incentive airdrops for pre-native coin holders, like supply drops or whatnot?
Incentive that we currently have in play for a limited amount of users, and again, that's like a tier 1. We could say that the next 20 have a different incentive, right? But the first incentive that we talked about earlier on was the first 10,000 that due to full migration over from the originating people, right? The originating members get reduced fees on the exchange, and that would require you obviously to KYC. So if you're just swapping over without the KYC process, then we can't obviously apply these benefits to you. You have the KYC.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop the recording. I know one of our admins are recording it on his laptop as well, so I think he said he's running out of space. So let's stop the recordings, but we'll continue the questions. Is that cool?
That's fine by me. And again,